Ashtiani coming at you with a brand new lesson called Tap String Skip and Arpeggios. What I'm going to do here is show you figure A, B, C, and D, and then I'm going to show you A, B, C, and D combined, and then we're going to go backwards and pick these apart and do them slowly, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. So, here we go, figure A, which is an E minor 7 arpeggio. Figure B, which is a C add 9 with an E in the bass. Figure C, which is a B minor 7. And figure D, which is a C major 7 with a B in the bass. And now here is all four of them combined. Alright, so let's go back and pick these apart. Figure A is an E minor 7. Now, basically what this little technique involves is unassisted hammer-ons with the left hand, tap notes with the right hand. And it's 3 notes per string, and what we're doing is basically creating a triad, and for the most part, moving the triad from string to string in octaves. So basically, figure A, E minor 7, what I'm doing is what I've got going on is I'm tapping, actually I'm doing an unassisted hammer-on with my left hand, G, and now I'm tapping B. I'm skipping over to the 4th string, doing the exact same thing, just in the next octave, and then going again to the next octave on the 1st string, and doing the same thing, pulling back off, and now tapping G on the 4th string, pulling off to E, then pulling off to D. D was what makes it a minor 7 and not just a plain old minor chord. And then going back to B, G. Okay, so slowly again that is. Alright. Now, figure B is a C add 9 with an E in the bass. Now, the reason this is such an interesting chord, and the beauty of this chord, is that I've made it a C add 9 with an E in the bass, because all we have to do, relative to the last chord we did, the E minor 7, is just tap 1 note higher. Everything else remains the same. So in other words, instead of doing E, G, B, which is 12, 15, 19, now we just do E, G, C, which is 12, 15, 20. Okay? So we do the exact same thing, just tapping 1 fret higher. Okay, so slowly that's going to go. Now, the beauty of that is now we basically know a major and a minor chord with just really knowing one shape for the most part, okay? So I love when things are simple like that, and that helps me remember a quick way to get to a major chord if I'm in a minor chord or vice versa, okay? And it also gives me kind of an interesting chord shape. So instead of it just being a plain old C major, now I've got a C major add 9 with an E in the bass. Alright? So, let's move on to figure C, which is a B minor 7. Now this actually is a B minor 7, and the root is on the 5th. So we've got and what's going on here is I am actually kind of in a little nice pentatonic box, which makes it easy. And I'm going B, okay, D, and last but not least, F sharp, which kind of, for the most part, makes it very easy because now these strings aren't so far apart as they were in the previous examples. Now, instead of skipping 2 or 3 strings at a time, I'm only have to skip from the 5th string to the 3rd string to the 1st string. Okay, so it's not quite as insane of a jump. So anyway, I've got 14, 17, 21, now 14, 16, 19, that is my B minor 7. Now figure D is a C major 7 with B in the bass. The reason again I've put the B in the bass and made this chord from just a major 7 chord to an inverted major 7 chord with the major 7 in the bass is because of the shape it gives me is a really easy shape to finger. So I've got this being the C major 7. Okay, so the fingering is really easy. It's 14, 15, okay, and then I'm just tapping 19. Then I'm doing 16, 17, tapping 21. So that's a it's basically between your index and your middle. Tap, index, middle, tap. And then I'm coming down here and just doing a little, okay, so 15, 19, 20. And go backwards. Piece of cake. So let's go ahead and top it off with all 4 of these combined. So basically slowly that was. Alright, and that concludes our lesson on tab, string skip, and arpeggios. Essentially, to go back and reiterate what I was saying before, all these arpeggios essentially is just 2 unassisted hammer-ons and then a tap note. And for the most part, that's everything you see here. I'm actually tapping with both my middle and my ring, but you can get away with actually tapping any finger. It doesn't require more than 1 finger on the right hand to tap with. It's just something I've grown accustomed to doing. Also, the dampener works quite well, but it's not necessary. It really depends on what type of distortion you have, what kind of pickups you have, and how good leverage and angle you have on your guitar, depending on whether you're sitting down, standing up. And last but not least, the real trick here is basically muting the strings. So when you're tapping, okay, you'll notice that in many situations, after you get done tapping your 6th string, it might ring out. So the best bet is to angle your right hand in a fashion that after you're done tapping and you move to the next string, your palm can actually come down and touch that 6th string to mute it. And same thing as you move down to the 1st string. So and that really is the most challenging part to these arpeggios. It's a great way to spice up your playing and create another avenue and another dimension to just doing plain old major and minor arpeggios. Okay? This is Cyamak Ashtiani. I hope you guys have learned something, and we will see you next time.